Iman, tell us what went through your mind when Anusha first told you that she was going to freeze her eggs.
I was really excited because we knew, I mean, like, I know that she wants kids, and we actually spoke about adoption, I think about 2 years ago. So when she finally said, I am thinking of freezing my eggs and finally deciding to, I'm like, oh, yes, girl, yes. And Anusha is the kind of person, if she wants something, she'll go all in, and she will work really hard to get it through. So last year for her birthday, because she's doing it for her birthday, right? So last year she decided to jump off the plane. So we went to Langkawi just to see her jump off the plane. So it was epic.
Well, you guys sound like a really lovely bunch of friends, being supportive and everything. Had you heard about, freezing eggs before that? Like, was that something on your radar?
Yeah. I've read some stories and inspiring stories about other people's journey. So to me, when I heard that Anusha's gonna go through the same thing, I kind of knew what was in store.
Was it broken to you just in a casual conversation? Like, hey guys, I'm freezing my eggs for my birthday.
Like a by the way thing.
Yeah. I think it went some sort like that. It's just as how she said she wanted to jump off the plane. So, guys, I'm gonna go do this, and I'm like, oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just Anusha.
All right. So, how important was it for you to support her through this decision?
It's very important because it is an emotional journey. It's really bringing all the part of life into one. Science and faith and religion. And family, friends, and romantic relationships. And it's just also not knowing what's going to happen. Whether or not it's going to be successful or not. Or and it's not just the freezing part; it's also getting pregnant part, and then raising the child part. So it's really important to really be supportive towards.
Because having a kid, right?
Yeah.
At some point, with a man, without a man, with a partner, or whatever it is, right? Like it's harrowing already. But if she wants to do it on her own, and then she gets someone to, like a donor, is that what you call them, right? How do you guys fit into all this? Are you guys gonna be like godparents, and then you're gonna have to support her once in a while, because it gets tough, right?
It gets tough, right? Yeah, so I understand that. And to me, because I come from a really big family, Anusha's a only child. I come from a really big family. I'm like the eldest of 8. And most of my siblings are already married, they have their own kids. So I know how tough it is. And I know how important it is to have that support system around you, regardless whether or not you're staying with her or not, but just to be present whenever she needs someone to be there, to just babysit or whatever. That's really important. Just to rent, Yeah.
It sounds to me like you and Anusha and whoever others are in your close circle have a very beautiful village-like mentality of friendship there. How important is that for you and for someone like Anusha who's going through this to have?
It's really important, especially again not knowing, right? And it's a lifelong process. So it's just really important to just be very aware of her state of emotion, or her process and her schedule, because she needs someone to be there with her, on the phone or whatever, just to make sure that she knows that she's not alone. Because it is a scary process, going to the doctors, not knowing, waiting for results, and going through the whole process of injections and stuff like that. Yeah, so.
And that part also can cause a lot of emotional turmoil when you're talking about injections, right? Because you're talking about hormones going up and down and all sorts.
Yes.
Did she tell other friends already? How long has it been since she told you?
Maybe 2 weeks before she went for the process. I think 2 weeks before her birthday. So the same as how she did last year. When she decides on something, she just, let's go for drinks, and then she just picks on the news.
So you're obviously one of the first to know. Has she told others, and then did they come up to you and say, is she sure about what she wants to do and everything? How do you react to stuff like that when people say that?
To me, when someone tells me
like,
something,
let's say other friends in your circle who aren't as supportive.
I think our friends, our circle friends.
Or is everyone just super supportive?
Yeah, I think we're just really super supportive, and I think our circle is very small, and we're very close, and we know each other's goals and purpose in life, and we know exactly what Anusha is. So there's no two ways about it, right? We just really,
That's so wonderful. It's like sisterhood of the traveling pants, but this is sisterhood of the traveling eggs, frozen eggs. Okay, so Iman, interestingly enough, you don't
Mhm.
want to have kids
Mm.
yourself.
Oh.
Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
I love kids. I mean, I really do. Like I said, I come from a very big family, 8 siblings. I have 7 nieces and nephews, and I do spend a lot of time with them. It's just that I don't want my own. So in the future, if I decide to want to have my own, I'll adopt. But in the meantime, I'm everybody's favorite aunt. I'll do the babysitting, I'll do the feeding and cleaning, I'll do the secret calls. I'll volunteer for stuff like that. But I just don't want my own. Yeah.
So could I pay to be my friend for that?
I'll babysit for free. I love kids.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome.
But what if so adoption is definitely on the cards for you, but what if you meet someone and he wants you to have kids? How does that work out?
I think that has to be something that you have to talk to early on. So even being in dating scenes, especially being like 36 this year, I think a lot of people would expect me to want to first of all get married and have kids, right? So it's really important to just be very transparent and upfront about what I want in life so that I don't lead people on. So yeah, so I think it's just really important to be true and tell the truth.
Okay. So it sounds to me like, you have made your own decision for yourself. So did you feel any sort of inner turmoil about Anusha's choice in terms of freezing eggs and not going the adoption route, for example? Or did you have any concerns around her decision that you kind of talked with her about through this process?
Not really, because I'm not against having kids, and I think it's a really big honor to be part of someone's journey. As I was a part of my other friends, and the fact that they trust you with their emotions and their thoughts and their time, I think that's really special. It takes really good friendship to actually be part of something so personal.
What are you?
It's so profound,
So
actually.
you're definitely not planning to freeze your eggs.
No.
I think it's awesome that like you're like, if kids are on the cars, we'll adopt, and that's that. There are many children in this world who definitely need an amazing mom like you, with all the practice you have with all your nieces and nephews and stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is sort of, I suppose, a bigger philosophical, if I can even say that word, philosophical question, but why do you think it's important to be genuine about supporting your friends, even if it goes against your ideals, even if it's not what you choose for yourself? Why is it important?
I think we need to respect each other's life choices, regardless whether or not you see yourself going through it, or you don't believe it, or you don't agree, because you know that whatever choices you make, they will be part of it. They would go through it with you. So you should, as you should, you should.
I think there's also that thing of sort of, we were talking about this, weren't we, JD, about like being a genuine friend in terms of, it's very easy to kind of be supportive in front of them, but behind the scenes, especially if you've got a group of friends going, oh, do you really think it's such a good idea that they do that? And it's sort of, that's not being sort of genuinely supportive of your friends. So have you had to deal with any of that with, I know you have a small group of friends and you all love each other, but any of sort of that questioning that happens behind, Anusha's back, so to speak, with love,
No, not really, because again, we understand each other's journey and purpose. So I mean, there's no question about her choices or any of the friends' choices for that matter. And it takes a lot of work behind the scene to be supportive in front of her. So for example, first you got to understand her story. Why, right? Why did she decide to do that? So that when you have conversations with her, you know exactly what to say, the right things. And also to understand the whole process of it, you got to research so that you know what to expect, and you are just really aware with whatever that's happening. So and also be there whenever she needs. Most of the time she just wants to talk, right? Tell her story, just show interest in what she's going through, and just ensuring her that she's not alone in this, because it is really scary, and especially if you have to go through it alone. I think that is really, that's quite scary.
I think it's something you said is super interesting, and that is something that a lot of people don't think about. They're very supportive, they love you so much, but there's no research done. They don't actually take it on board to learn enough about it themselves that they can be of practical help
Yeah.
or at a doctor's, for example. I had a really good friend of mine who came with me to my doctor's appointments, who actually had all the right questions, because I had X amount of questions, but I didn't have all of the questions and I wasn't feeling great myself.
Yeah.
And it was so helpful to have a friend who had read up enough about it that they had learned as much as I did, if not maybe more, to help guide the process. So it sounds to me like you're the kind of friend who does that as well. Why would you say that's important, the researching part and knowing enough about the subject?
Because I think that's the kind of support friends need, right? Because it's emotional, so you don't know what kind of mood you're in, you don't know what kind of state of mind she's gonna be in. So it's very important for you to be really objective at that point of time, knowing what she exactly needs, so that you can guide her through the process, or be with her through the process, right? So we actually know the whole process right now. So she was telling us that, okay, the first time that she's gonna have herself injected with the hormones, she needs to go to the clinic. And you have to literally stab yourself with the with the hormones, right, in your stomach.
Right.
And the following, I think 2 weeks, she has to administer the jab herself. So we turned it into a whole thing, right? Okay, tell us when your period is, so that we know you're gonna go to the doctors. Okay, the first day that you're gonna be injecting yourself, we're gonna go to your house and host a party just to hype you up, because it is scary. Can you imagine just being at home alone with the jab and trying to just administer that alone? Those are the kind of support you need. So just understanding the process and knowing what to expect, or her state of mind, is important for you to just know what part of a journey that you can play in, what part of her story. Yeah.
You sound like the most incredible friend to have. So
Ah.
I'm going to ask you, for all the rest of us who perhaps aren't as good of friends as we could be, what's your advice to being a good support system for a friend or a family member?
Your purpose in the friendship, I think, is very important. You need to know your niyat. I live by the notion that you need to be at peace with why you're doing certain things and why you have certain people in your life. And I know why Anusha is in my life, and I know why I have this circle of friends. So yeah, just knowing in your heart your own purpose, and what kind of love language you guys have. Like for me and Anusha, we're very clear, right? Our love language is quality time. So I know I know what she likes, and I know what she wants, and she knows what I want and what I like.
Right.
So just understanding each other better would make you a better friend or better person in your person's life. Yeah.
Wow.
When you
That's
did the
incredible.
research, right? Did any part of the research say when times get bad, they get kind of really tough? How bad does it get? I mean, like, I heard about hormones being all over the place and whatever. What are you supposed to do as a friend to support her?
I think that happens in everyday life. When you have a bad day, you just need to know what's the best way to just help her get over it. It could be ice cream, it could just be watching movie, it could just be eating chips in front of the TV. You just need to read the situation properly and just gauge what kind of quality time she needs. And really, most of the times you just want to chill. So it is
hand to
every
hold. Is it?
I think you know your friend pretty well to be able to gauge everything like that. No wonder she's, made use of principal, guiding mentor and leader of this whole operation. Commander of operations here.
Oh my God.
All right. So all the best to you in support of your best friend.
I have a question to ask you,
right.
actually, that's off the cuff here. But
Okay.
let's say further down the line, Anusha has a baby.
Yes.
And this baby grows up to know that she was a frozen egg, right?
Yeah.
And she comes running to Auntie Iman, absolutely sort of like distressed, doesn't know how she feels about this being a frozen egg. What would you say to her?
The thing about the whole process, right? I think Anusha is very transparent since the beginning, and then she's been telling the whole world about the journey. So I don't think that is something that she would hide to a child. And with Anusha, it's all about the story, right? So I'm sure that it will be a really beautiful story to tell from. It's like, How I Met Your Mother kind of thing.
Right.
It's a whole story. It's not like, oh, your mom decided to have you, but she didn't know when. She just decided to freeze her eggs and just decided to have you when she was like 50. No lah, tak ada lah. Like that. Yeah.
She crafted a really good story, and you just basically repeat it, would you?
Yeah, because we believe in the story, right? Again, the story is actually the whole truth. It's the matter of how we craft it for people who most probably don't understand the whole process behind it, right? Because it's not something that we talk about. Like really, it's not something that our culture talk about, especially here.
It's like, what did your mom tell you? Well, this. What she said.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
All right.